Exercise 15-8 is in metric, so again I'm going to use my template ACAD ISO 3D.dwt, and for this particular exercise I've got a lot going on. I've got 3 individual pieces that I need to do. I've got the side that sticks out to the right, I've got the L-shaped piece, plus I have the rib that's on the front of this. So to start this, I'm going to type UCS and go to front. And that's going to allow me to draw the rib and also the L-shaped piece. So I'm going to start with the L-shaped piece. This is going to come over 60. And let me zoom in, make sure everybody can see what's going on. And now I need my line to go up 65. It is going to, I'm going to go ahead and stop and go back to the other side. This is going to go up 35 and in 35. And now I can just close off the rest of this by tracking. So that is the first shape that I needed to accomplish for this particular shape. The next one that I need to do, I'm going to do right over top of this one using a polyline. So I'm going to retrace this line here, retrace this line here, and create this line. Now I'm going to move that out of the way. At this point I'm going to press pull this 75, and that rib I'm going to press pull 10. Now at this point I'm going to just orbit this thing around a little bit just so that I can see what's going on, and that rib mathematically is not centered, so I do want to move it from this end point up to this end point. Get rid of my 2D geometry, and now I'm going to move that rib back again along the Z axis. I want to make sure that my cursor says polar Z, and I want to move it back 30. Okay, now it's not letting me do that, so I want to go to UCS, top. Now I should be able to move this with no problems 30 along my y-axis. So sometimes it doesn't like you to do things on the z-axis and it won't allow you to. That's okay. Just change your UCS to the one that's going to work for you. So now I want to union these two objects together. For the other feature that's on this piece, I want to use a right UCS. So to do this, I'm going to go UCS right, and now I'm going to draw on this plane. But now I'm going to draw not on this, but away from this, because I want to make sure that I get everything correct based on the geometry that I have. Now, that being said, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle. And this rectangle is going to match the overall size, 75,65. Now it just looks a lot smaller, but that's only because it's on a different plane. If I were to orbit this thing around, you'd see that it's actually very far away. So if it looks too small, don't worry about it. It's actually the correct size. I'm just going to zoom in and work on this over here. Now what I need to do is I'm going to draw a line up that's 25 millimeters offset from here. That's going to give me the location for the slant. So now I'm going to draw another line that is going to be offset out 10 from here, that's going to come right down to this point. I can now erase this line. Now I know that I've got my slant located for the most part, so I'm going to go ahead and draw my circular feature, which has a radius of 15. And I drew that on the corner. Now all I need to do is move it based on my X and Y. So this is going to be, actually, if I move it to this corner, I can use the X and Y without doing the math. So I'll move it now along the X. It is going to be 20 and 30 on the Y. So this is where that circular feature exists. So now I can trim out what needs to go away. And in this case, it's all of these features, and then I can erase this. Now what I want to do is press pull this feature out 40. In this case, it's 100 minus 60, so I don't really feel the need to use the calculator to get that. So now, as I zoom out, I can see I've got my other block, and now I've got this block. So I want to move this block from that back corner. Let me zoom in so you can see the corner I'm talking about. It's this back corner right here, and I want to move that up to this front corner. Now notice, because I've now moved it to where it's supposed to be, its size looks correct now. So at this point, I can erase this 2D geometry. I can use the union command to union everything together, and then I can move this away so that I can erase the additional 2D geometry. And then here, what we're left with is our object, and you can see it's got the rib, it's got the L-shaped feature, and it's got this feature on the back side. And that concludes exercise 15.8.